Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Spectrar here in another video in Wayward Terran Frontier, coming at you with 5 tips/tricks that you may not know about. You may know about them, but you may not, so you may learn something here. First thing first, when you're out scavenging or raiding for stuff, and your cargo is getting full, and you have a whole bunch of blueprints, you may or may not know that you do not need to be at your station to upload the blueprints to your research hub. You can do it right here from the ship. At my current research hub, I only have one blueprint in there, and so if I right click on both of these and we head back to the station and check in the research lab, you will see that there are now 3. Our medium engine and double cabin that we just right clicked on in our ship. So you do not need to come back to the station with all of your blueprints, which is what I previously thought until recently. You can just right click them out while you're out and about, and then save more room for materials for your mass. Tip number 2, tip/trick. You may or may not know there is a secret menu in the menu area. So you just come to this area and you hit Control Shift, and while you're holding those two, click on Visit Wiki. It takes you to this area. Now, when you move your mouse around, you may or may not be able to see, but the screen moves. So when you're holding your mouse in the center is when it's not moving. But you scroll out and you see this ship over here fighting another ship. And if you hit spacebar, you will spawn more ships. As you can see, there's a third one there to the right. Hit spacebar again. There is another one somewhere. But this is a fun little... Oh, there it is. A small one. This is a fun little area where you can just watch ships fight. You can do that in the testing area, but then you run the risk of yourself getting killed. And so this is kind of a fun way to see how NPCs fight, the way they move. Maybe you can learn from it. And just generally watch other ships just destroy each other and blow up. It's kind of fun. Depending on... I mean, you can't really control what spawns. You just hit spacebar. See right there, I just spawned another big one. He'll come in and fight. But it's just kind of a fun way to just watch the physics and the explosions of the game, which the developers have so beautifully made and is really fun to watch. But it's not super useful, but it's a fun little thing to play around with. Oh, I guess I hit spacebar again and spawned a ginormous ship. Anyways, it's pretty cool. And you simply hit escape to exit out of it again. Tip number 3, you can use capacitors as conduits to get more bandwidth. So if you've watched my building tutorials, you'll know, or if you simply read this, you'll know that the conduits are limited to 30 energy per second. But if you look at this, the capacity is much larger than this, and a lot of things require a lot more energy per second than just 30. Like, for instance, this one requires 72. Now, you could feed multiple conduit lines to it, but what you can also do is, you can simply, these aren't meant to represent what they'll actually do. If we simply grab this, you can actually take your capacitors, and let's say for some reason this one required 300 energy per second. If I simply connect this up like this, if this somehow produced 300 energy per second, this turret would be receiving 300 energy per second. So you'll find in some of my videos of making things, you'll see me constantly using this capacitor right here, which is 80, because typically most things don't require much more than 80, and I'll simply use them as conduits. And because this one requires puts out 300 per second right out the nozzle, I could simply bring this down to a point and split this off 80, 80, 80 in different directions, and it would spew out the 80 instantly. It's just a great way to open up the throttle that happens with the 30 if you need more than 30 energy per second. But it can save you on space for conduit lines, and it makes it so that you can give something the immediate amount of power that it needs. Pretty useful. I use it quite often. Tip number 4. If you are running low on engine space, you do not need to be at the bottom of the ship, at least with these small engines. You simply need to be at a spot where the tip of the engine is touching the side, and it will act and it will place normally. So as you can see, I can't place it right here because the bottom tip of the engine is not touching the outside, but I can place it right there. I could have placed it anywhere along here, and it will act normally. It will shoot out in that direction. So if you run out of room in the back of your ship, but you need more thrust and you have room on the side of your ship, it's a nifty way to get a little more thrust. All the other engines, even the one right above it, it will not work for this. But with the small engine, it does work. So it's a nifty way to get a little bit extra thrust when you need it. Tip number 5. There's a little hallway hack that I discovered recently. Now, if you simply do this, you can actually walk in this little mini hallway. It's just the hallway component on the second page that is meant to actually fit like these kind of hallways right here. It's the little in between one, but you can walk in this this one by one space. You can walk in one by one space, and I'll prove it to you. If we save this, I can squeeze my way in and walk along this. Now this allows for some really cool creative ideas to get into places where you wouldn't normally be able to get to with just a standard hallway because it's too big. It allows you to fit more in while still being able to reach components and repair them, which can be extremely useful. I've used it in, I think, a couple designs so far on some of my past videos, but it's a neat little hack. I don't know how long it will last. The developers may eventually patch this to where you can't walk like this, but it's a nifty little thing that you can utilize for now. Those are the 5 tips and tricks that I have for you today that you may not know about. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to do more videos like this where I do short little tips and tricks for you, let me know in the comments below. And I hope this video helped you out and maybe taught you something you may not have known. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.